What's going on, everybody? How you doing? In today's video, we are starting Russian Rio, and I'm doing all of the videos except the last two songs are audio. There were extras on the CD, I guess, and that's Between Sun and Moon and Vital Signs, right? Bonus tracks. All the rest is going to be the video. We're starting with Tom Sawyer, but I'm also going to be reading from the tour book a bit about the date and, you know, some of this information, some of this stuff. There's looks like a lot of people saying things, and a little bit of this. So if you're new here, please subscribe, check out my videos, all kinds of videos, music videos, check it out. I do donation requests, so if there's something you want me to listen to, watch, talk about, any of that stuff, all that information is in the description below. Check it out. Okay, Russian Rio. Recorded November 23rd, 2002, and it looks like the bonus tracks were recorded at different times. But the bulk of it was the Rio, and it was released almost a year later. A 3-disc live album, also put out as a 2 DVD set. This was recorded on the final night of Vapor Trails tour, which is pretty interesting because you would think that they'd be pretty tired. You would think that would be like kind of a lot for them. In May 2002, Rush commenced rehearsals for their first tour in almost 5 years, starting in Ontario before moving to Glen Falls, New York in June. First week of rehearsals, we sounded like a very bad Rush cover band. Then after that, we slid into it and got our sea legs back, Alex said. But there was definitely that period of having to get back on the horse. When they finally returned to the road for the Vapor Trails tour, it was with vengeance, performing to more than 720,000 fans over 66 shows. The opening night in Hartford, Connecticut was an emotional event for the band members and their audience, with fans traveling from around the globe to welcome Alex, Geddy, and especially Neil back to the stage. There have been many amazing things that happened to this band, but probably the one outstanding moment was after Neil's double tragedy, Alex said. The first show on the Vapor Trails tour was in Hartford. Ged and I walked over to the drum kit and leaned in past Neil's hardware, looked at Neil, and we smiled at each other, and we all shared this moment when we couldn't believe that we were here again after that long, dark journey. It connected us in such a powerful way. We were all teary at that point. That was a pretty momentous moment. I can still picture it to this day. Neil said it was so emotional for the three of us, because they had been so strong for me and so supportive through my troubles. We hadn't played in front of an audience for so long. I said to Ray, our manager, at the end of that show, that it would have been a shame if this had never happened again, because of course a few years previously I was convinced that it was never going to happen again. On the tour, Rush broke from the tradition of keeping set lists rigidly consistent. Instead, they performed 2 primary set lists, which, with few exceptions, were alternated each night. A first set included Between Sun and Moon, performed live for the first time, Vital Signs, and Ceiling Unlimited. A second replaced these songs with The Trees, Free Will, and Ghost Rider. We try to make both sets quite different, and we try to ease into the show and have it develop, Geddy told the Chicago Sun-Times. At the present moment, it's really working well. We were able to visit the past with the same enthusiasm that we're playing the new material. Additionally, Closer to the Heart and Force 10 were dropped from the live show for the first time since their inceptions, although the former was brought back for the final U.S. date as well as for performances in Mexico and Brazil. Said Neil, we had a surprise just before we went to Mexico City. Apparently our most popular song there was Closer to the Heart. We weren't playing it on the tour. 3 of us talked about it, decided we didn't want to disappoint the audience by not playing our most popular song for them, and they agreed we could relearn it pretty quickly. The South America outing was Rush's first trip to the continent, and the Sao Paulo, Brazil concert set a record for the largest attendance in the band's history as a headlining act, 60,000 people. Additionally, the last date in Rio de Janeiro was filmed for the Russian Rio concert DVD, which topped the charts upon its release. In all, the Vapor Trails tour proved an incredible welcoming back for the band. The track clocked in at number 21 on a list of the highest grossing tours of 2002, netting Rush $13.4 million. Additionally, it reaffirmed the band's commitment to the stage and to their fans. When you've been away for a while, a lot of things change and you don't know what your level of enthusiasm will be and what the crowd enthusiasm will be, Geddy said in an interview with the Starr Tribune. On both those fronts, it's been excellent. When you've gone on a long break and a difficult break, I think you come in with a real appreciation for the opportunity to play. Okay, I'm not going to get into the set list because we're basically doing it, right? Let's get to what was said about this Russian Rio. November 23rd, 2002, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. An evening with Rush. Tickets $60 and $80 in whatever their local currency is. Okay, Rio de Janeiro says 46,000 were there. Filmed and recorded for the Rush and Rio DVD and CD release, the trucks arrived late for setup, and the crew had to scramble to get the show ready in time. Wow. There was no sound check for the band and no time for line checks for the film crew. Oh my god. However, they were able to rectify the sound problems of Sao Paulo by adding banks of time-release PA cabinets at the back of the massive stadium, which vastly improved the sound quality. In a special nod to Brazil, the band added a section of The Girl from Ipanema into the set. Jeez. That doesn't feel right. That feels a little bit like pandering or something. Anyways, many of Brazil's elite were in attendance, including actors. I'm not going to be able to say any of these names. All kinds of people. Okay. Oh, Sepultura. See, them I know. Sepultura was there. At the end of the South America run, the stage carpet was too wet to ship home and was abandoned after this final show. It later turned up on eBay. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Okay, O Globo says, we're now getting into publications and people talking. Quote, exaggerated show leaves fans at the feet of Rush. True to ardent fans, Rush were to behold with the show that the Canadian trio performed at Maracana. Peggy, whoever this person is, SRO, Anthem. Video shoots are the worst. Hurry up and wait, but live video is pretty exciting. Rush played this huge football stadium. I saw fireworks going on outside and I thought, this is amazing. I didn't realize quite how big Rush were in Brazil. It turns out the fireworks are for when the drugs land. Because not everyone had cell phones in Rio. You don't have to wait for Jose to call you. That was so wild. Jeez. Okay, Lauren Wheaton. Quote, in Rio, the gear was all soaking when we took it out. We didn't get to load in until 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We'd been told for a month that we were shooting this DVD, but I remember taking the soaking wet gear out of the cases and thinking, if this happens, I'll be totally amazed. I had Neil's mallet cat completely taken apart in order to try to dry it out. This sounds like a wreck. Jesus. Thankfully, it was a beautiful day in Rio, and amazingly enough, it all worked out. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a nightmare. Crazy. Okay, John Arrowsmith says, the second show was in Sao Paulo, and after the long, heinous loadout, we jumped onto the buses for the overnight drive to Rio and the DVD shoot. No one does overnighters in Brazil, especially when you are shooting a DVD. The buses were not the fancy US, UK buses with bunks. They were essentially a coach with first-class airline seats that didn't recline all the way, so sleeping upright for 8 hours was not possible. We arrived in Rio around noon the next day and went directly to the gig. The first motor point did not hang until about 2 p.m. So we were already a good 6 hours behind. But as usual with the Rush crew, everyone rallied together, working in other departments to help get this thing up and rave for showtime. We did go on about an hour late, but considering the circumstances, it was quite impressive. After the show, another long, heinous loadout commenced, followed by several hours at the airport palletizing the gear for the plane, and eventually landing up back at the hotel around 4 p.m. the next day after the Rio show. Glamorous. Not. Yeah, that sucks. That's terrible. We had worked for about 50 hours straight, minus the few hours of sleep on the bus from Sao Paulo to Rio before we arrived at the hotel for our 8 p.m. departure back to home. Quick shower and come down to the pool bar for caipirinha, traditional Brazilian drink. Very yummy, and it gets you very wasted if you're not careful. Well, we weren't careful and frankly didn't want to be. Eventually, Getty showed up and bought us all drinks while we sat and had a great time. Okay, Brent Carpenter, monitor engineer. Quote, at the end of every tour, we'll have some kind of outing. Maybe we'll have a big bowling party. We'll have a golf tournament or something like that. This is the first band that I've ever worked for that actually does a golf tournament. They care about the people that are around them. Why else would the crew keep coming back? Because these people are your friends that you happen to work for, which is really refreshing in this industry. They genuinely like their crew guys. They're one of the few bands that carry a full crew of 55 to 60 people, and by the end of the tour, they will know everybody's name. That's cool. All right, that's that. Wow, there it is. Okay, so we're gonna Tom Sawyer is first. I actually really like that they started with Tom Sawyer. I think that that's fantastic because usually that's the holdout. That's like one of the big holdouts, right? It's like, all right, this is gonna be one of the last songs before the encore. It's like last song or second to last song before the encore. And here they just hit it first, and I feel like first time in Brazil, that's probably, and it's gonna be a long show. I kind of think that's a great idea. Just start with that shit. Just hit them first with it. It's like you've been waiting this whole time, and this is our biggest song. Here it is, right here. We're not making you wait anymore. So I actually really like that. I think that's cool. So there's a couple of different versions. Before I get into this, there was a couple of different versions that I was choosing between. One of them, the audio was pretty bad, and the other one, the audio was way better. The video has some weird digitized stuff in it. It looks a little bit weird and freaky at points, but I chose that one because the audio, we're watching, but we're also listening, and I couldn't deal with the bad audio of the other one. I was just like, you know what, I can't. I've heard enough, I'm just hearing little clips of it just to kind of check the quality, because I've made that mistake in the past. Grace Under Pressure. I still can't even believe that. And I really like that record too. That was such bad audio. That was what a wreck. Anyways, I don't want to do that again. So I see which is best for me to do. So I chose this one because the audio is great. The video quality is fine. It's a little bit weird at points. You'll see. But, the audio. We're listening here, right? So, all right, let's get to this. Russian Rio. Starting it off, Tom Sawyer. Bam. See how the faces are kind of like digitized a bit. audience. People in the back hear anything but audience. Just sounds so... They're going crazy. The audience. This is all about the audience. That's what this is all about. They're going crazy. I'm like, can the people in the back hear anything but the audience? It's just like so loud. I mean, obviously, especially they start. It's one of the reasons why I think it's just great that they start with Tom Sawyer. You know, it's like we're not making you wait any longer. You know, we're here. We're giving you Tom Sawyer first. It's really wild. It's so loud. So loud. Yeah, I mean, awesome. Just the audience is just insane. DVD was certified 7X platinum by the RIA in the USA with 700,000 copies. 700,000 copies sold as of September 2010. So by now, I'm sure it's more. Very cool. Yeah, I can't believe they got it done, given what the book was saying and just how behind they were. And it was raining. It sounds like a wreck. It says Alex Lifeson produced it. Alex Lifeson and James Jimbo Barton, producers. Wow. First live album released by the band to not follow the pattern of releasing a live album every 4 studio albums, and was also the first to feature a complete set list without any changes in song order, including Neil Peart's drum solo. It is also the band's first live album that presents a single night's performance in its entirety, not counting the 2 bonus tracks. In an interview about the album and DVD, Alex Lifeson and James Jimbo Barton noted that it took an extended amount of time to mix the sound. This was due to technical difficulties of recording the audio on primitive equipment. Very cool. Yeah, I think we're going to get some good stuff out of here. I mean, people have been talking about this. You know, I've known about this. People have been talking about it forever. There was a video from Rio that I've seen before. Was it Tom Sawyer? There was some Rio that I saw previously. Let me see. It was YYZ. YYZ. That was March 10th, 2022. Wow. So, wow. That was before I started doing the discography. By the time this comes out, when did I start doing the discography? June 13th. So that's when I started doing it. It was June 13th. So we still got some time. Still got some time. It's not been a full year since the beginning of the discography, but I bet you it will take that long. Yeah, at least. I think at least. This is going to take a while. I think people think I'm just going to be able to knock out these next two albums and it's over. But if I'm really trying to be thorough, there's kind of a lot still. Anyways, very cool. Not going to take any more time on this. Russian Rio, We Have Begun. Tom Sawyer. Distant Early Warning is next. Catch you then.